computer, right? Yeah. So with the goat promotion, okay, I want to talk about that real quick because I know what it's like to get stuck in comparison mode and to get stuck in this like overwhelm place of, well, why haven't I hit that yet? Or all these people are winning, or how come she got it and I didn't get it? And you get stuck in this comparison mode. And it really is like probably the single one thing that can completely halt your momentum in your business if you had any already. And it's looking at other people that are winning and looking at yourself like you're not winning. And I've been there. I actually sat in that place for a very long time. I remember specifically May of last year where everybody was winning these bonuses and everything. And I had already been in the business for a year. I still wasn't 4K. And I was like, what in the actual hell? Like, I don't understand, right? But I wasn't looking at myself. I was just looking at all of them. And I was like, how come they can do it, but I can't? I don't understand. And I got stuck in that comparison mode. And it really was a really ugly place to be. Okay. Because if I looked at myself in the mirror, that's not Amber. Like, Amber doesn't treat people like that. Amber is not the type of girl that's going to like shame on somebody else. What I needed to do was turn it around and look in the mirror and say, hey, how can I be inspired by these people? So when you start to see people ranking up at the end of the month, hitting promotions or whatever in their business, maybe they signed a promoter, maybe they signed a customer. As you start seeing people winning, I want you to look at that as, how can I grow? What can I learn from this person? Okay. And even if it means that you go specifically to their page and you dive in and you say, okay, what was she going live about? Okay, what did her post look like? Okay, how did she market the business? How did she market the products? Okay, start looking at as, how can, like, what can I learn from this person, instead of, well, crap, like, here we go again, another person's winning and I'm not. Okay, so I just want to speak on that for a little bit because I really feel like it's a super common thing to feel at the end of a month. And you know what's coming up in 2 days. Tomorrow's the last day of the month. And so what is that? Tuesday is the first of the month. And our trackers are going to go 0 and you're going to be defeated again. And you're going to be stuck feeling like, well, I don't know what to post. It's like this vicious cycle of, I'm comparing myself to everybody winning, and then my tracker hits 0 and I haven't sold any samples and I haven't signed any customers. How can I learn? What did I do really well this month that I can pat myself on the back for? And what did I not do so well at this month? I told myself I was going to increase my engagement. I have, but I know that I could do so much better. I revamped my vision board in July, but I know I need to revamp it again for September because I'm still not where I want to be, right? So just wanted to start off the Zoom with that, is that don't compare yourself to these people that are winning, okay? Look and see what you can learn from them, because success leaves clues. It really does. And I'm not gonna, there's no shame in my game. I peep on my leaders all the time and I'm like, what is she doing? How can I do it? Okay. But I wanted to, okay, let's jump into sales real quick, because if there's one podcast that I can tell you to go download, it's the Angie Lee podcast. Okay. And she is like a little spitfire specifically for sales, specifically for how to sell your product. And she keeps it super vague. Like, it could be literally for Beachbody, for Isagenix, for us, for Unique, for like any company. She keeps it super specific. I want you to download that podcast and add it to your list if you don't already have it. It is the Angie Lee Show. It's like yellow and blue. It's this cute little, she does lives on Instagram all the time. She's bomb. But a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about tonight actually comes from her and comes from your Virtual Upline podcast. I know that a lot of you guys listen to him too. It's Bob Heilig. He's bomb. But one thing that Angie says, and I wrote down some notes, so if I'm looking over here, that's why. She says that sales is very heart-based. It's not like a copy-paste kind of thing. It's not a how many message, there she is. It's not a how many messages can I send out, how many can I copy and paste, and it's not like a numbers game like you think it is. It's really who can be the most human Who can be the most human? And when you start to talk about sales and talking to potentials and talking to potential promoters and potential customers, I want to just kind of touch on real quick that it doesn't start with that conversation, whether you think it does or not. It starts with your posting. It starts with the way that you're posting. That's where you're grabbing her attention. And so sales is like a transfer of confidence. It starts with your posting, but your posting is not about you. Your posting is about her. So what you'll see in my post is I've completely like kind of revamped it compared to how I used to post. Let's not talk about that real quick, but compared to how I used to post, I now post speaking like spitting life into her, right? I'm like breathing life into her. And you'll see me use these two words that Angie says is the most important words you could ever use whenever you're creating your content is the words you and your. If you are creating your content and you're constantly talking about me, I, this is what I'm going to do. This is where the business is taking me. While yes, it is good to talk about where the business is going to take you, but at the end of it, you need to talk about where it can take her. And so that is where the beginning of this sales conversation starts, is with your posting. The number one question that I used to have, and the question I get a lot from my downline is, how do I not sound salesy? Have you guys ever felt that? How do I not sound salesy? I just don't know what to post because like, I'm just afraid I'm going to sound salesy. Or I don't know how to go live because I'm afraid they're going to feel like I'm salesy. Listen, if your best friend sat down on the couch next to you and she said, oh my God, Amber, I'm so tired. Karen, I'm just so tired. I don't know. Ashton, like I have 2 babies now and they're both in diapers. And how do you do it? Like, I just don't understand. How would you start that conversation with her? Would you be afraid to say, Jessica, you have to try this vitamin? Would you be afraid to share it with her because you knew that how it's going to make her feel? Because you knew how it changed your life and how it can change her life too. We have to stop thinking that we're sounding salesy. And when you think about your conversations with people and your posting and your content and everything that you're putting out there, instead of thinking that you're in, this sounds terrible, but instead of thinking that you're in sales, I know we're in sales, like I'm not stupid, but instead of thinking that you're in sales, I want you to think about, I'm in marketing. How can I market this product? How can I market this business as a vehicle to get her to A, B, or C? How can I market this product so that it grabs her attention? Maybe instead of talking about, that it fills nutritional gaps, maybe we talk about, I feel bomb in the first 10 minutes of my day and I will never go a day without these vitamins again. Which captures your attention more, right? It's the way that we talk about it. It's the transfer of confidence on your social media. And Katie, I think it's Katie that uses this analogy a lot. She says it's kind of like if you go out to dinner and you're like, in between 2 different items, and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to get this salad here, if I'm going to get this chicken. And the waitress is like, I don't know, I've never tried the salad before. Versus if she's like, girl, I tried that salad and it's got the bomb croutons and whatever. Like if she sells you on that salad, you're going to buy that freaking salad. Versus if she says, I don't know, like, I mean, it's good. Everything is good. Everything that we have is good, right? Do you know what I mean? Like you have to transfer that confidence to her so that she knows you're serious about it and she knows that you're not going anywhere. Okay. Let's see. So those words in your post, you and your, we talked about that. When it comes to actual conversations, drop some questions if you have them in the chat. But in the beginning, please know, it's kind of like that live video I did, like on the team page that was talking about live videos. Like your live videos are not going to get better until you actually do more of them, right? And so your conversations with people are going to be identical to that. Your conversations with people are not going to get better until you keep practicing, okay? And it's literally just that. It's literally practice. And some of my conversations that I used to have, I'm so embarrassed about, but it's a learning process. I used to word vomit all over people. I had no idea how to explain what the 3 steps were. I had no idea, like, I just felt like I had to say everything all at once, because if I didn't, like, she was just gonna like leave and the conversation would be ended. And so whenever they asked me, they'd say, Amber, what's thrive? I'd be like, I would send them, and I didn't do voice memos. I would send them literally a paragraph. Like, I didn't come up for air. I did not come up for air, and like, I got ghosted so many times, but I would be like, it's a simple 3-step system. It's capsules, it's shake, it's DFT. It's going to fill your nutritional gaps. We all have nutritional gaps, no matter how well you think you're eating. And then she'd be gone. I'd be like, well, I don't understand. Like, I told her everything. I told her like that it made me feel really good and that she could feel really good, right? Like, I had superficial conversations with people, okay? I did not spend the time to listen to people. I did not spend the time to actually ask them questions. And so I feel like when people get in your inbox, whether it's a customer conversation or a potential promoter conversation, those conversations, if you think about it, are really identical, except for what? What do you think is like the biggest thing that's setting them apart? Because when you're having conversations with them, you're really talking about the same thing. But the biggest thing that sets them apart is their pain point. And if you don't know their pain point, how are they going to understand that you can help them with something that they're struggling with? If they just see what you're posting online on social media and they come into your inbox and they're like, what's Thrive? And you're like, oh girl, like, where'd you find me? Or whatever. Like, if you start asking all these questions, what was it that sparked your interest? I love to ask that when people comment on my live videos or they DM me after a video and they're like, oh my gosh, that video was really good. I'm like, what was it that sparked your interest? Ask questions instead of just saying, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you for watching, right? Ask her questions. What was it that sparked your interest? If they ask you, what's Thrive? Or what's that thing on your arm? Or if they ask you about, like a DFT in your picture, if they say, what is that? Say, girl, what was it that sparked your interest? Tell me a little bit about what you're struggling with so that I can help point you in the right direction. What is it about your life right now that you're looking to change? Ask them questions so that they will give you literally the script to tell them. Okay, they will tell you if you ask enough questions. Number one, they're gonna feel like they're heard. They're gonna feel like you actually care about them. Okay, we want people to actually feel like we care about them, right? Yes, 100% we do. If you ask them questions about what they're struggling with, ask them about what it is that they want to change in their life. If it's a promoter conversation, ask them about what it is that they do right now. What is it about what they do right now that they don't like? If they could change one thing, what would it be? Tell me what you're struggling with. Is it energy? Is it weight loss? If it's a customer conversation and they're like, girl, I'm just running around after these babies and I just can't keep up. Am I going to point them to weight loss if they never mentioned anything about weight loss? No. But in my beginning conversations, I literally word vomited on everybody. I told them about nutritional gaps. I told them about all the DFTs that we had and what they did and why they were different and how it's like I went into way too much detail. So I really honestly believe less is more, because when you give less information in a conversation, when let's say somebody says, Amber, what are those pills you have on your story? If I said, girl, it's Thrive, and I told her all the answers, is kind of like sleeping with somebody on the first day. I use this example all the time, and you're going to hear that a lot because sales is like a relationship. Okay, we have to cultivate the relationship. But if you tell them everything they need to know in the first 10 seconds of meeting them, they have no more questions for you. You can't help them anymore. They'll just go Google Le-Vel and they will buy. Versus if you actually take the time to get to know them and you actually ask them the questions and you form that relationship with them, they will stick with you. But if somebody asks me, Amber, what are those pills that you have on your story? I'm not going to go into like everything that's in there. I literally could shoot them a picture of the back and say it's tons of vitamins and minerals and pre and probiotics and like all this stuff to get your body going on the first 10 minutes of my day. Or I could just say, girl, those are my jumper cables. I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. I don't drink coffee anymore. I haven't had it in 2 years and don't need it. Which one hit you harder? When I told you it has vitamin A, B, B1, B6, B12, like all that? Or when I said I don't need coffee anymore and I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old? What have the products done for you? And how can you share your story? So when you are on your social media, that is where your conversation starts with your people. You may not even know that they're watching you, and they're watching you, and they're listening to you, and they're reading your posts, and they're waiting for that hook that catches them in. Less is more, ask more questions. Stop being selfish. I wrote that down because a lot of times we'll get talking to somebody and we will automatically get like so excited. Like I know that feeling when somebody comes in your inbox and you're like, oh my God, like, yes, somebody's finally interested in what I'm saying. Like, yes, girl, let's go. And you just want to like jump down their throat, but you're going to get ghosted like in the first 10 seconds if you don't slow your roll. We have to slow our roll. I look like an ogre, but anyways, okay. Stop being selfish. I know it's super exciting when they get in your inbox and you want to just like tell them all the things, especially if it's a promoter, right? And you're like, oh my God, like here we go, here we go. But stop being selfish with it. And I want you to think, instead of thinking, okay, I have to close this sale. I want you to think, what is this girl needing from me? And what's my actual purpose here? My purpose is to serve this person. My purpose is to give her all the information that she needs to be able to make an educated decision on what she wants to do. You're here to share your story and you're here to help her out of her struggle, but you have to figure out what her struggle is first. So you got to get like out of here a little bit more and into here a little bit more. And start leading from there. But like I said, conversations, it takes practice. Listen to what they're saying. If you're my direct downline, this is going to be a little bit of a repeat because these are the notes that we did on our training a long time ago. I don't even remember when it was. But I'm just going to kind of go over them real quick, and then I'm going to bounce this off if Brielle or Jordan wanted to say anything, they can. Listen to what they're saying and search for the feeling behind it. Okay. So that's why I mentioned, don't word vomit, wait it out. Don't be like, if they don't answer you, give them the benefit of the doubt that they got busy, that they're not trying to ghost you, but they have a life just like you have a life. Give them time. I'm going to get into follow-ups here at the end a little bit too, but give them time. Use voice memos. If you're not using voice memos, that is the number one way that you can convey that confidence and that excitement in what you're doing. If I typed all of this out for you guys, you would be asleep by now, right? You would. You would be asleep, Karen. I promise you. You would be asleep. It's okay to share your day. I've said this to you guys before. It's okay to share your day. So don't be worried that you're going to send a voice memo and your kids are going to be acting a damn fool in the background. Don't worry about it, okay? Because it shows that you're normal. It shows that, hey, this girl's like actually a human being. She's not a robot. Like, she has a life. She has screaming babies. This girl knows my struggle. She knows what I'm going through. It makes you more human. Okay, so whether it's when you're in the car, whether it's if your babies are screaming in the background, whatever you got going on. I was voice memoing somebody today. I was literally out running. I think I was voice memoing you guys too in the team chat. And I was like, right? Like, it shows that you're a human. So use those voice memos, okay? And I'm going to just like plug this in there too. Turn your camera around on your stories. Please do that. Okay, meet them where they're at and take them where they're going. This is one thing I learned from Tony Robbins, okay? Tony Robbins talks about a thing in conversations with people called mirroring and matching. And what that means is you give them the energy that they're giving you, okay? So if I've got a girl that comes into my inbox and she's like no punctuation, like no exclamation marks, like she's just like very flat, she's what are those vitamins? No period, no exclamation mark, no nothing, no emojis. Like, I'm very emoji heavy. I'm very exclamation mark heavy. But if this girl's like very toned down a little bit, like, I'm going to tone it down for her. Versus if I've got somebody in my inbox and she's like, tell me about those vitamins, girl, exclamation, 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 then I'm going to give her the heat back. Okay. But mirror and match what those people are bringing to you, because there are different personalities. There are different Enneagrams. Has anybody taken the Enneagram test? Jordan. Okay. Go take the Enneagram test. Okay. Okay. The difference between a personality test and an Enneagram test. The personality test tells you like the way the world perceives you, if that makes sense. Like, but the Enneagram test tells you how you perceive the world. Go do it. Just go do it. You're going to be surprised. Use like words. Okay. So if they're using specific wording, use words that are like them. We talked about using voice memos, matching punctuation, matching their enthusiasm. Let's see. I'm gonna skip over that part. That part's boring. Instead of saying, oh, here we go, follow-ups. Okay, I think Sam was talking about follow-ups. So this is my rule on follow-ups. Okay, just be a human being. Okay, it's no different than if you're checking in on a friend. It's really not. You check in on them. Let's say you have a conversation with somebody. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm really interested in this. And then like you guys go to sleep that night and like another day goes by, nobody says anything and you want to follow up with them, then I'll just reach out. Always use their name. Always use their name. Do not ever say, hey girl. That's so rude. That's so rude. Don't use hey girl. Okay. Because you want them to feel like you care. Okay, do you actually care about your people or do you not care about your people? Don't say, hey girl. Say, hey Karen, I just wanted to check back with you. I wasn't sure if you read my last message, right? If they haven't read your message, or if they read it, but they never responded, it's okay. People have lives and people get busy. It's fine. It's not that she's probably intentionally trying to ghost you. Just say, hey Karen, I'm just checking. I'm sorry, I'm using your name, Karen. Hey Karen, I'm just checking back with you. I'm not sure if you saw my last message, but I'd love to help you out if you're ready to get started. Right? And she says, yeah, like maybe she'll say, yeah, it's not good timing. I'm just waiting until I get paid. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. I'll write you down on when to check back on you. I'll check back with you on X, whenever she told you would be a better time for her. Or if she says nothing to that conversation, let it go for a couple more days is what I do. I'll check back one more time. I will follow up twice. This is just me personally. I will follow up twice. If they say absolutely nothing that first time, I give it a couple of days, girl, like no biggie. And then I'll check back. Sometimes they're like, thank you for checking back with me, because like I totally, like I read your message. Who does this? I do this all the time. I read your message and I mentally responded, but I didn't actually respond to you and I totally meant to. I do this all the time, okay? We're not the only ones that do that. People do that. People aren't really trying to be rude to us. They're really not. I promise you, people are nice human beings, okay? Follow up with her again. Just say, hey girl. Nah, don't say hey girl. Say hey Karen. Say hey Karen. Karen, poor Karen. God, poor Karen. Okay, hey Jordan. Your name's so easy to use, Karen. Okay, hey Jordan. I wanted to check back with you to see if it's something that you're still interested in. Let me know. I have like whatever your conversation was. I still have those credits that I wanted to send your way. Okay. Or whatever the conversation looked like. If she says nothing to you, boo-boo, you back in the friend zone. Okay. You just got friend zoned and that's okay. All right. Because some people, it's really not good timing and we have to respect that. And some people really just, they don't have the money right now and they're too embarrassed to tell you. Okay. Because they don't want you to know the situation that they're in, especially if you know them personally. Okay. We have to be respectful of people. Some people don't respond because some people just don't care. Okay. And we take that as feedback. We take that as, okay, that's not my person. But what I do, if I followed up with somebody twice, they've ghosted me 2 times. I go back to the friend zone. I'll keep them on my list. I have in the back of my planner, I have a list of potential customers. That is conversations with customers that never went anywhere. I will write them down in the back of my planner. Same thing for promoters. They have a whole different page. I'll say potential promoters. I will stay with them in the friend zone, however long they want to be in the friend zone. It's up to them. The ball is in their court. You've done your job, right? You've already had those conversations with them, whether it be a customer, whether it be promoter. If it's not their timing, trust in God's timing. You have to. Stay friends with them. Look at their content from time to time. There is a reason why I write them down in the back of my planner. 2 reasons. Number 1, you got to be a friend to have a friend. I've said this before, but if you check back with them from time to time and you comment on their posts, you send them some love, you stay in contact with what's going on in their life. Maybe there's something big that's going on in their life that they are too scared to tell you about, but they're going to post about it in a week from now. And you could be that connection that's just like a friend to lean on. Do you know what I mean? Or let's say we've got a promo that launches and it's this free $30 credits that they just did, like last week, 2 weeks ago, then you can check back with them then. If you continue to be friends with them in the friend zone and you're engaging with their content, maybe they're engaging back on yours. You don't have to get right back in their inbox, but if you do have a promo and you've already had that conversation with them, you've already had a conversation about the products and that they were interested, and then it went ghost, friend zone, then I will keep them on my list. And if I have a promo, I'm like, hey, Karen. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Jordan. Girl, we've got this huge promo that's going on where I know you haven't made an account with me yet, but if you wanted to make an account with me, you're going to get $30 to spend however you want. It's yours if you want it. And I'll just leave it open-ended like that. I'll just say, if it's yours if you want it. And if she continues to ghost you, girl, you're back in the friend zone. Okay. And it's okay to be in the friend zone, because there's so many people that have been in my friend zone before and they're like, it just wasn't good timing. And I was too scared to tell you it was not good timing. Okay, so that's follow-ups. So I think Sam was asking me, she was like, this girl gets paid on the first of the month from disability or whatever. So should I check on her? I would go back and say, well, how many times have you checked on her? And follow that situation. Have you checked in once? Have you checked in twice? Are you in the friend zone? Where are you at? Where are you at, girl? Okay, let's talk about pricing, because for the longest time in the beginning, I struggled with pricing because I couldn't afford my starter pack. I put my starter pack on a credit card, you guys. I do not recommend that to anybody, but at the same time, I couldn't afford not to try this business. I really couldn't. And so, whenever I was talking to people in the beginning and they asked me how much it was, I already had that belief in my heart that this was expensive shit, right? I was like, oh, she's gonna run. She's gonna run when I tell her what the price is, right? Because I believed that, okay? But if you can believe that this is a product that has changed your life, would you actually pay for the product if you had to? I probably would. I 100% would. If you can convey that in a conversation with them, don't feel like you have to tell them about the referrals right off the bat, because they sense that as a like not being confident in your pricing. Basically, if somebody says, okay, this sounds amazing, how much is it? Right? If somebody says, this sounds amazing, like I need that, I have 2 babies, how much is it? It's like our butt cheeks clench a little bit and we're like, oh, she's gonna run. Okay, number 1, these are some things I've learned along the way. Number 1, stay out of their pockets. You don't know what people can afford, and don't lowball yourself. Don't start with a sample pack unless she says, is there a way for me to just try it before I buy it? Don't assume that everybody will fit into that sample pack category, because once you are in sample pack zone, you can't really go anywhere from there, if that makes sense. So I always start with offering a month's supply. And I say it like this, and this is one thing I've learned along the way. I think, was it Angela? I forget where I learned it from. But if I type out $150, you are going to be more scared than if I voice memo you and I say, Ashton, it's $150, right? If I type out the $150, they are going to run faster than if you voice memo them and say, so for a month's supply, it's $150. This is what you get. You get a box of capsules. You get 2 boxes of shakes because you're a brand new customer, and you get 1 for free, and you get a pack of DFTs. Does that work for you? Ask her. Just say, does that work for you? She will tell you. She'll say, that was a little bit more than I was hoping to spend. You have wiggle room. You have a crap ton of wiggle room and you don't even know it, okay? But you'd be surprised how many people say, girl, let's do it, okay? Because you stayed out of her pockets. Don't make that decision for her on what she can afford. And if you come in and you're like, well, it's $150 and I know that sounds steep, but like, do you see where that confidence is already gone? Versus if you say it's $150, this is what you're going to get. Does that work for you? If you come in and you're like, it's $150, you're going to get da, 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 da. We also have a referral program where you can earn free product credit every single month. Do you see where I've already like backtracked and my confidence is gone because I felt like I had to cover up what I just said? Does that make sense? Tell her about the free product credit later. Like if that comes up in conversation, but I used to use that. I used to use that line. It's $150, but if you break it down, it's really X amount per day. Right? It's $150, but we have a referral program where you can earn free product credit every single month. Then what they're going to say to you is, oh, I don't want to sell it. Right? They're going to think you're trying to sell them on being a promoter. Okay. So use voice memos, have that confidence in what you're selling. Think about her. Think about the way that the products or the business makes you feel. How can I market this to her in a way that's going to change her life? Okay, stop thinking about you. Stop thinking about the sale. If they say no to the 1 month supply, if she says, oh, that's a little more than I was hoping to spend. Okay, what's your budget? We can work around any budget. Right? Is that a lie? No, we can work around any budget. If a girl doesn't want to spend $150, what's our next step, you guys? We could have her on capsules and DFT. Forget the shakes for a little bit. Right? See if that works for her. You could have her on capsules and shakes if you want. Ask her what she wants. You can do a la carte. Karen started with just DFTs. Just DFTs. That's all she started with. You work your way down. Ask her what she's wanting to spend. If homegirl doesn't know what she wants to spend, then she don't know what she wants. Let's just be honest. Worst case scenario, you're in the sample pack zone. And you're like, if you want to try it before you buy it kind of thing, I have samples that go out all the time. You can do a 3-day for 25, or you can do a 5-day for 40. You just let me know. If that's more your jam, I got you. Have confidence in what you're doing. But I always start big and I go smaller, unless the conversation is already like, do you have samples? You know what I mean? So it's a learning process. Just know that like you have to get out there and play the game. You have to get out there and fail. You have to get out there and have embarrassing conversations with people and flop and fall on your face and say, oh my God, why did I say that? It's going to happen. You have to be there before you're actually going to get good with your conversations. But it's not about you. It's about her pain points. It's about how you can help her with whatever situation that she's dealing with. Let's see. That's really the majority of the stuff that I wanted to kind of cover tonight. Let me see the questions. Hold on. More questions if you want in the chat. How do I get, hold on. Hear that she's in a different company? Okay, Ashton. This one girl I know is working with another MLM. It works. A lot of people on our team refer it works. She's scared. She's scared to get a sample pack from me. How do I go about pursuing? Wants a sample pack, but I don't know if she's scared to get one.
Drive home.
Question mark. Ashton, have you asked her? Are you scared to get a sample pack because you're in a different company? Ask her. Just ask her. Say, listen, okay, I have a customer that I just signed. I've been talking to this girl for over a year, and she just signed as a customer. She's with Beachbody. She is she does the business. But we've been talking, we've been just loving on each other, like really good friends on social media. We've been talking for over a year. And she just signed as a customer last week. And she's like, I'm just really scared that if I try it, I'm going to like it and I don't want to be a coach anymore. Right. Like, I'm just scared. Like, we already had that open conversation. I said, the only way that people are going to know that you are actually trying something is if you are sharing it on your social media. And you told me, okay, this is where it comes with these questions, right? Because she told me, she said, I mean, I drink like the Energize, but like I don't always have the energy for my workouts. And I'm not getting the results that I really want for my workouts because I'm just I'm really tired with my workouts. And she has a new baby. And she said, I just want something that's going to make me feel good. Right? And so she bought capsules and Black Labels. And she's on day 2 today. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody from a different company that wants to try our product. It doesn't have to be like anything. It doesn't have to be icky. Okay. Just say, girl, I'm here for you. My inbox is a safe place. I use that all the time. My inbox is a safe place for you because there are a lot of people in other network marketing companies. I can't really speak on it because I've never been in another one, but I have some people on my team who are from a different company, and they were terrified when they jumped over because of the way that their leadership was on another team, and they weren't sure how that was going to be portrayed. And I said, that's just part of your story. That's a beautiful part of your story. And never feel guilty for doing something that is ultimately the product of you following your heart. So just love on her, Ashton. That's all I'm going to say. Just love on her. Just tell her you're here for her. Your inbox is always open. You send out samples all the time. So if she ever wants one, it's hers, right? What else? When I wasn't getting free product credit, I still placed my orders every month, no matter what the cost. Yes, so did I. But it's easy to get in that place of, God, I don't have my free product credit yet. How many people are sitting here tonight and you don't have free product credit coming in September? Guess what? Tomorrow is the last day of the month. The month is not over. Even though you think it may be in your mind, it's not. Okay? It's really not. And even if you don't earn your free product credit this month, this goes back to the beginning of the conversation that we had. What can you learn from it? At some point, I had to get honest with myself and say, Amber, it's not like it's impossible. It's not like you can't earn free product credit. You just have to look at what you're actually doing. And what I was actually doing, you guys, was posting Pinterest quotes and thinking it was going to change somebody's life. Okay. Nobody knew I was in a business. Nobody knew anything except for I was wearing a silly sticker on my arm, but I was too scared to talk about it. Okay. I sat in that. I sat in that struggle for a year and a half. I didn't have free product credit for probably my first 6 months. At least, I'd say. And I didn't understand how come they can earn free product credit on their account and they can earn free product credit on their husband's account and they can earn these bonuses and they can go to freaking Jamaica and like what? Right? How come I'm not at Jamaica already? Okay, right? That's how I felt, especially May of last year. Was it Jamaica? Everybody was going to Jamaica. Oh my God. Don't sit in that. That is the number one way to halt your momentum in your business. You were literally turning your thermostat off in 100-degree weather. Okay? You turned your thermostat off, which is in then return going to do what when we talk about the thermostat? Your self-belief is your thermostat. If you don't believe that you can earn free product credit for September, with tomorrow being the end of the month, look at where you're at first. This is what I always say. Look at where you're at first to see where you're going. You have to know where you're at to know where you're going. I had a girl jump in my inbox the other day and she's like, tell me about this debt tracker. Right. I'm like, okay, what? Like, this is where I got it. Da, 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 da. And she's like, I'm just really scared. Like, how did you get to that number? I said, I added up that number. That's literally everything but my mortgage payment. That's my cars. That's my credit card. That's my student loans. That's these stupid cards that we used to have, like our Ashley furniture. We had like a H.H. Gregg, like who has a Victoria's Secret, like all this stupid cards. That is my debt divided by the puzzle pieces. I'm sitting here staring at it. And each puzzle piece is X amount. And I was telling her, she was like, I'm so scared to even write this number down. Her number doubles my number. She's like, you don't even want to know this number. I said, I do want to know that number because listen, you have to know where you're at to know where you're going. If you don't know how much debt you have, how the heck are you going to put a plan together to paying it off? If you don't know where you're sitting at, do you have a customer? Do you not have a customer? Where are we at for the month? You have to have that conversation with yourself and you have to have that accountability that it's up to you. I can't go get your customers for you. Jordan can't get your customers. Brielle can't get your customers. It's not our job to run your business. It was nobody else's job to run my business but me in the beginning. The only difference is we didn't have all this stuff whenever we joined. Brielle, Jordan and I don't know, Jordan, if you came at the same time or not. I know Brielle and I were like back to back when we joined with two totally different people, and that's fine. But we didn't have work with me Zooms. We didn't have the, we didn't have the customer group. We didn't have like all these things that we now have. We didn't have newbie onboarding. We didn't have the VIP worksheet. Holy crap, how incredible is that? That VIP 1600 worksheet. If you've never printed that out, go print it out. It literally goes over everything that you need to know in your first 14 days. Tons of videos to dive into. We didn't have all these things in the beginning, and so we had to figure it out along the way. We had to figure it out the hard way. You are the only one that can run your business. And so if you don't have your free product credit for September, even if you don't have it by the end of the night tomorrow, what is the lesson that you can extract from it? What can you do differently? How can you show up differently on your social media? What is it that they like? What is it that they don't like? How can you do it differently? One thing I did the other day, was it yesterday? I did the stupid protein balls for the pumpkin. Like I made little protein balls with it. And I've been talking about how I'm so over summer and I'm ready for fall, right? I've already like warmed them up to that idea. And then I post the pumpkin spice protein balls and they're like, oh, what? Right? Or I could have like easily just gone on and be like, you guys, we have pumpkin spice shakes. But instead, I know we have pumpkin spice shakes. We've had them for a while. But instead I was like, how can I mix this up and how can I market this differently? Maybe it's going to attract somebody different if I portray a protein ball versus if I have a shake all the time. How can you be different? How can you mix it up? How can you change it up for her so that she's not seeing the same thing over and over and over again? Another thing I'll talk on real quick. Maybe we should touch on I'll touch on this on the Work With Me Zoom. You guys, I'm doing a Work With Me Zoom. I'm going to crap my pants on, on Sunday. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everybody's fine. I'll be fine. But I think I'm going to touch on like, God, I'm having a brain fart. Like how to do like market research, if that would help. Because one thing I saw Em do the other day, and I followed suit, like I told you, I creep on my leaders. Em puts up every now and then, she's like, what do you want to see more of on my page? She put it in her stories. And then after that, she had a really cute slide, right, of like her Bible. And she was like, do you want to know more about like faith and Bible and how to? Yes or no. And then she had one that was like infertility, right? Because that's one of her 5s. That's part of her story. She put up her infertility struggles with that, yes or no. And then she put up another thing. And so I followed suit and I did the same thing. And I said, okay, workouts. Do you guys want to see more workouts? Yes or no? Do you want to see more nutrition, product information? Yes or no? Do you want to see more of like mom life and kid crafts and fun kid food? Yes or no? And I screenshotted what they responded to on the polls as my own market research of they're answering that question for me of what my content needs to look like for September. Does that make sense? If you ask them what they want to see, think of it more like it's their page. It's their page, you're just showing up on it, okay? And you're providing the information that they want. If you ask them what they want to see more of, they will tell you. They will tell you. Anyways, I will go over a little bit more of that on our Work With Me Zoom on Sunday. But anyways, okay, Brielle, that was very long-winded. Brielle, Jordan, if you guys have anything you want to say, I'm going to read some of these comments. Ha! Yes, you are your own boss.
I don't want to go super long since we've kept everybody already, but I listened to Simon Sinek the last couple days, and he talked about the finite game and the infinite game and how in businesses, and he's talking about anybody. So whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a big corporate company, because he helps big corporate companies with like from the CEO down to how to make someone like love their job and show up daily and how to be a leader, right? Not a manager. And he talked about how a business that's playing, you know, the finite game looks at the pandemic and they literally get stuck and they don't know what to do. And it inhibited them and they're done. Like everything is done. And then he said, you have businesses that look at the pandemic as just part of what's going to happen in their business. And they see it as an infinite game. And they start producing masks because they have the material anyways for what they were doing in the first place. And they literally find a different source of income while helping towards a cause. That is like someone that's in an infinite game. And so whenever a new month starts, whenever a promo, you don't get it, you have to, or even a promoter, say a promoter comes on that you're really excited about, and then she just goes into space and we don't know where she went. And you did what you were supposed to do. She did not meet you in the middle. That is something that you have to be in the infinite game where you're not stopping just because of things like that. Or maybe you have a conversation with someone and they just aren't as amped about the products as you are. Maybe they had something happen, because sometimes you have to understand people need to make this customizable to themselves. So sometimes that means you have to be so transparent with them, and you start that by the conversation of what Amber's talking about, asking them their goals, asking them what they need. Like, this isn't going to be everyone's like rainbow unicorn on the first day. And so my point is that the conversation you've already had with them is because you're in the infinite game and you already have all the confidence in these products, and you're already transparent with them in the fact that, hey, you might not feel it till day 10, but you're still going to feel good. And this is what it's going to be doing in your body. This is, and so when we get caught up in every single thing that doesn't go right, or maybe it makes us uncomfortable, or like I said, promoters leaving, customers not being as amped as you are. And that comes with time, and that comes with you sampling and customer service. And like we're talking about, those layers just take you sucking at first. And like, it takes you just like, I look back at my stuff the other day and like, yes, I'm proud of my consistency, but some of the stuff I was like, girlfriend, you are selling people. Like the way you said stuff, like I was looking at my own way of wording things. So when bumps and bruises and things like that happen, be in the infinite game and don't allow yourself a point where it's like, well, this is done then, or this is my time. I'm not where I want to be at this time, so I'm done now. Or, Susie Q said something, I'm done. So anyways, be innovative, hit their pain points and speak into their fears. Like, what do people, it's like being able to pay for a crown at the dentist office. If you can use this money to go pay for maybe a tooth getting fixed and you're really proud of it, that's tangible. Somebody can grab onto that and be like, yes, that makes sense in my head. So paint this simple picture for your customer. What does it do? What is the money helping you do? And even if you're not making what you can, say you're able to even make something from your phone, anything. Say you get your products for free. Like, you changed your health for free. How about that? Like, I think that's pretty cool. So be in the finite or infinite game. Don't be in the finite game where every single thing is a roadblock. It's just another layer. It's just something that's going to go with your entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship comes with your life on the outside too, your personal life aligning. It comes from a lot of things getting cleansed. And this month, God has cleansed me of so many people and so many situations. I'm exhausted. I am exhausted of all the hard conversations I'm having in my personal life. I am exhausted from what's going on personally right now. But you know what? I feel like he's cleansing me because he knows that that has to get good first before this goes and skyrockets. And so be in the finite game. That is like the biggest thing I wanted to talk about. And I would say that's about it. Speak into fears and be in the finite game.
All right. Did we lose Brielle? I think we did. No, there she is. She's in the class still. Brielle, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
No, I'm good. You guys killed it.
All right, girly. Well, I'll touch on real quick. I wanted to put up, I'll put it in the chat. Brielle and Jordan and I need to chat about it a little bit more, but we want to bring into September a giveaway for you guys. Okay. And it's going to be a Lavelle gear giveaway. And so go on there. I'll put some pictures down and we'll do like a little poll that talks about like which one you would prefer to have. And we're just going to kind of run it like the points system, right? Like promoter is X amount of points, customers points, self-development is points, IPAs is points, showing up on a Zoom is points, like all these things, right? And so we'll run it for probably the whole month of September. But we're super excited to be able to give back to you guys. And we might have more than one. I don't know. We'll see. We might have more than one that we end up doing. So anyways, get pumped. Whatever energy you are in right now, if you're in a space of lack, if you're in a space of negativity, of comparing, of feeling like you're not enough, of feeling like you're doing all the things and nothing's working for you, just recognizing that is the first task, and the second thing is not taking that into the next month. Because whatever energy you have at the end of one month is the energy that you're going to have at the beginning of the next month. That I have learned. And that's the worst feeling, to start the first of the month and be like, my tracker's at 0. I don't know how I'm going to do this. When you already have that self-belief that's been shattered. Why would you show up if your self-belief is shattered? So we are here for you. We love you. Utilize that team chat. Ask us questions. Tell us what you want more of, what you feel like you specifically, individually need help with. We're all in different seasons. We're all in different seasons. Maybe you're struggling with customers. Maybe you're struggling with promoters. Maybe you're struggling with posting. Maybe you want to just like revamp your social media. We are all in different little places right now, but we want to love on you. We want to be able to be that guide for you guys. So use that team chat. We are here for you, and we're excited to see where September takes us all. All right. I'm going to end this and I will record it for you guys. Good night.